appreciate that. 11:39. In the studio with us, we've got Tanya Dickinson and Zach Atchley. And Tanya, good morning to you. Glad to have you. I have to get you a little closer to Mike. Zach, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Glad to have you guys. You are part of this group that has put together this, I've been saying, art/history project out at the Bluff Furnace area. And other than that, I mean, I'll kind of let you guys just take it. Where did the idea come from? Who all was in charge? And we'll go from there. Zach, you go first.
Yeah, I'll take that. Well, first off, the history of the site is, it's an archaeological site of the Bluff Furnace, which was around in the 1850s. And I'll let Tanya answer all those because she is the archaeological expert here.
She's the history buff.
She is.
Let me see your nails. Let me see if there's dirt under your nails. Oh, they're clean as yeah, they're good.
But essentially in the early 90s, they did this large interpretive piece where they built this replica of the stack that was at the Bluff Furnace site.
The actual furnace smokestack.
Exactly.
Itself, yes.
And they did a sheath, and it had a vinyl sheath around it for about 5 years, and they did this real, what was state-of-the-art computer-generated interactive thing down there that they spent a lot of money on, ended up getting destroyed. The vinyl covering ended up getting destroyed, and essentially the tower has been unclad for the last decade.
Yeah, it's just been metal bars. You could tell that it was supposed to simulate some sort of funnel. A lot of people, I walk down there all the time, and you would see people standing there scratching their heads looking for some sort of explanation, which never was there. And the sheath just didn't weather very well.
Exactly.
It looked okay for a while, and then it didn't. The UVs got it, and dirt kind of just rose up on it. It was kind of ugly.
There is actually signage down there letting people know what the site is, but it's kind of off the path.
But a lot of people won't go past that gate. If that gate, that's funny. People are weird now, and if you put a gate up there, they won't even check to see if it's unlocked. They'll just stop. I'm just the opposite. I jump over it, even if it is locked. But yeah, you're absolutely right. But go ahead, please.
So, Mark Making, a local nonprofit, co-founded by Frances McDonald, she has always looked at that tower and thought, that's a perfect place to hang art. It looked like there's like 1,000 frames on this tower.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to.
Exactly. And so we talked to Garnet Chapin, who is the chair of the Parks Foundation, and he was the one that spearheaded all the interpretive stuff in the early 90s.
Well, and also was the man who, if there was one person that saved the Walnut Street Bridge, it would have to be Garnet. There were a lot of people who put a lot of money and time into that, but I'm going to say, my vote would say that Garnet is the man that saved the Walnut Street Bridge, and our city would not be the same without it. Thank you very much.
Exactly, and he also told us that when they were renovating this site, that the historical significance of the Bluff Furnace is what they piggybacked federal funding for the Walnut Street Bridge on. And so it was this real synergy.
It's been squandered ever since.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, we contacted him, and he said, great, what can we do? And he's good friends with Dr. Hornerkamp at UTC, who was the lead excavator. And our idea was, Mark Making, we always work with non-professional artists. We always say, what's the site, who can work with it, and what's the message? And so we contacted Dr. Hornerkamp and said, what can we do? And
now, Nick, was he one of the ones that actually originally found the site again? Because it was completely forgotten. It was the center of industry in Chattanooga. Union forces took over, basically completely transformed it during the Civil War, made it a lime factory or something like that instead, and then it fell into disrepair, and it just slowly tumbled down, and everybody completely forgot about it. And somewhere in the 70s, they literally rediscovered it. It was like, someone said, didn't there used to be something down there? Didn't Grandpa used to? And they went down there and found the foundation. Was he part of that group?
No, he wasn't. There was actually a lot of erosion there on the bluff, and Jeffrey L. Brown of the Archaeology Institute at UTC is the one who discovered it. He did
just
the
after
original.
Heavy rains.
Yeah, with the water coming down and everything else, and he's the one who actually did the original excavations on that. And then Dr. Honorkamp spearheaded field schools in the 80s that uncovered more and actually got to the base and everything.
I know when I got here the first time in the mid 80s. Everybody knew it was there. Everybody knew that what it was, essentially the history. But then that was pretty much it. Like you said, that first attempt, which was probably a little too much on one end and maybe not enough on the other, kind of came and went. But yeah, that little strange tower has just been sitting there ever since. And I find it fascinating. I love going down there looking at those pictures because the pictures include people And you think, who were those guys? Who were those guys with that mule wagon? I mean,
Right.
who was that dude sitting over there eating his lunch? I mean, whose grandfather, great-grandfather was that? I wonder whatever happened to him. I think about stuff like that when I look at those pictures, and it really brings it to life. Now, the way it looks now, each one of those squares has been framed in with a sort of a sepia tone fabric that carries a message, a timeline, a chronology, or a little bit of trivia tidbit on what it was, what it is, what it has become.
Right. Dr. Honorkamp had an independent study group this last semester, and we were the ones that worked on this project, 3 or 4 of us. And then there was a couple of volunteers who were so kind to donate their time as well. And we had to do the research for this and figure out what facts we wanted to include and the pictures we wanted to include of the people and Robert Cravens, who founded this furnace. So that's how the project started. We started with drawings, we started with lists of facts and the timeline of Chattanooga, and from there it just grew. And we knew we wanted it on a substrate to hang. We knew what we wanted to tell the public. We wanted to draw them into the site so that they knew the site was there for a reason. Because most people, myself included as a transplant, I've been down there, I didn't know what it was. I just thought it was an abandoned site, left in foreclosure or something that nobody wanted to do anything with.
This cool cylindrical billboard space. now, real quick, you're saying we, and you're saying we. You're saying we as mark making. You're saying
Correct.
we as students at UTC.
Correct.
All right, and I know that the students are basically just identified as the students of this class of 2010. But was it just the archaeological group?
It was. Will Andrews and Adam Cochran and myself were with the independent study group. And then Meredith Gallagher was in the Tennessee archaeology class with Dr. Honorkamp, and he had asked them about what facts should be included, and so she jumped on board. And then a friend of ours from field school, Lindsay Roden, she just volunteered to volunteer. She just wanted to be part of the project. So
She didn't have anything else to do.
Right.
But this is something I want to stress. If you guys haven't seen it yet, mark making has done all kinds of things all over town. And when I say art/history, I'm going to go ahead and say that it's more history than it is art. It's art in the sense that it's done with line drawings in a certain way. But this does not. It's not graffiti. It's not lips. It's not anything that's going to that you're going to find off-putting in any way, shape, or form. But it was all clearly done by hand, and there is again a flow of information. So it really is more. It's history done in an aesthetically pleasing way. There's nothing that's really abstract or bizarre about it.
Yeah, that's right. It's visual. Like, that's mark making. We approach a thing and we say, what is the visual solution to this problem? You know what I mean? And the process of getting this done is fascinating, because at the very beginning, the students and Dr. Honorkamp were saying, well, how can we transplant these pictures onto this giant billboard-sized vinyl? And honestly, we had no idea how we were going to do it. But we kept just nodding our heads saying, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. And what we ended up doing is tracing the pictures by hand with a pen on a piece of clear acetate, and then taking a picture of it, converting it in Adobe Illustrator, and projecting it full scale on the wall, studio wall at mark making, and then painting that tracing.
Now, the first thing that I have to wonder, having seen that other vinyl, it literally ended up in tatters, and it was kind of sad. But is there something that you have done to condition this vinyl to last longer?
It's a different vinyl. It's got millions of little holes in it, and so we're hoping the wind travels through it better. And we didn't completely wrap it. We left space between the columns so that wind can pass through. And we've guaranteed it for a year, and we're going to reevaluate after a year. It might be just a temporary piece that hangs for a while, and then maybe we can do something else, or then maybe we redo it.
Sure.
We don't know.
I mean, it's something that could easily be redone. I guess the template is there. Or maybe it's something that changes. Who knows? Now, I've not seen it at night. I understand that. I know that there's an LED light at the bottom, and it's meant to be illuminated from below. I have not seen it at night. What's it like, Tanya?
It looks like a candle.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I kind of was imagining, I guess, one of those Chinese, Japanese, Korean, some Asian lantern, a paper lantern of some kind, and that's kind of what I envisioned. I guess I ought to just go down there and look, huh?
Well, your imagination was correct. That's about what it is. Right now, the light is a little too bright. It floods out the pictures and the writing down towards the bottom, so we're looking into solutions for that. But no, it's great, and you can see it all across town from the North Shore and everything, and it definitely stands out.
Now, one of the things, again, in my travels, is I just do a lot of walking downtown just simply because I'm old and I can't run anymore, and I just got to do something or I'll go crazy. And I'll walk, and visitors to our area are very quick to take that zigzag route down to that area and then find their way out. There's like 4 or 5 different ways you can get out. You can go down to the river, you can shoot alongside the shore, you can go all the way back up to Riverfront Parkway, and people who are from here nowhere near as quick to go venturing under a bridge. I actually, because we're talking about doing some capital improvements to that amphitheater as a concert venue and an entertainment venue, not just concerts. Anything could be done under there. And I took the city councilman that represents that area and the county commissioner that represents that area. Neither one of them had ever even seen it before. They didn't even know it was there. I am willing to say I've worked for Riverbend now for about 12 years. This will be my 12th year. I've been there as long as Chip Baker's been there. I would say that the vast majority of people that have gone to Riverbend have never seen that stage. You know, they know it's there, but there's just something that just keeps them from wanting to go down under that bridge. I don't know what it is. Billy Goat Gruffs, you know, there's a troll. I don't know. But it's really odd. But, I mean, the visitors, I see them down there all the time. And they stand there and they look at that view shed from right next to the column, and they're looking out at the Delta Queen and the beautiful, the light off of that golden horse on the carousel. It's just gorgeous. It's breathtaking. God, wish we had something like this in our town. Wish we had something like this in our town. And then they'll stare at that thing and talk. And but so now it gives people a better reason, a more luminous reason to actually go down there and do some sport.
Yeah, that was like the purpose of the project too, because that's one of the cool spots in Chattanooga, because you see it from 3 different, the Hunter Art Museum balcony looks right over it, Riverside Drive in your car,
sure.
Zigzag, and then Walnut Street Bridge all kind of loop around that spot. And we said, the thing was, there's signage down there, but the signage that was originally there, is it captivating enough to pull anyone's attention over there? Mm-hmm. And the answer is no, it's not. And so, like, what can we do to, like, grab somebody's attention and get them to walk down that zigzag path and see what's going on down here?
So is it as of now, other than adjusting the light a little bit, it's a complete project for at least a year, and so congratulations to you guys for pulling this thing off.
Thank you.
And that's a kind of a neat thing to be able to go back and actually have something so solid, and that you can put your hand on and say, I did this. I can't think of a single thing in college that I could do that to. It's just all up here, and it's all been exaggerated over years.
It's probably better up there.
11:52. Anything that's going on next? Is there another project out there?
Oh man, there's always more projects. Yeah, it's fun. We just finished.
You see the look on his face.
We just finished 3 big ones. We did a tile wall at CSAS, 600 square foot tile wall to the entire elementary school. We just opened that up. And we just did a mosaic sink at the AIM Center with the AIM clients, and then this project, and we just finished these 3, and so yeah, we're spotting walls around town and going, what would look good there?
I'm a big believer. I've said before, if I had an old beige wall on my building, I'd much rather have art on it, even if it was graffiti style art, than nothing.
Sure, the graffiti
the mud splattered, nothing.
Yeah. We love the graffiti stuff too. That's one of the funnest things we do is put that stuff up. Now,
are you a graduate student? Are you getting ready to leave, or?
I have 1 more year in undergraduate study.
What do you do then?
Graduate school, of course.
Oh, of course. And what is your objective? What's the dream gig as an archaeologist these days?
Actually, this project has changed my viewscape, and
really?
There are a lot of initiatives in Europe and starting here in the United States that they're combining archaeologists with artists to do stuff just like this. I
know a lot of post-industrial towns that are trying to figure out how to reclaim their place, and especially Eastern Europe, and I think some of them are actually looking to Chattanooga. Look what they did. Let's see if we can do something like that. Maybe you'll be at the cutting edge.
I hope so.
Well, Tanya Dickinson, thank you so much, and Zach Atchley, thank you very much for swinging by, and thanks to Francis and everybody that made this happen. Very cool, very cool. Anything you want to add?
I'll go look at it. Get down there.
Go look at the darn thing. It's easy enough.
And let us know what you think, please.
11:53 WGMW FM Saturday Daisy Chattanooga Talk Radio 102.3. Thank you to Chad. We'll be back one more go around.